Hi, Bryan here from Stroud Homes at Brisbane South. I'm just going to talk to you today about stamp duty, and particularly in Queensland, because it does differ from state to state. Now, a little bit of a boring topic, I'll admit, but a very important topic because it adds up to lots of dollars. So let's have a look at it. Firstly, the name. It's pretty much known as stamp duty because that's the way it's been a long time, but it's also known as transfer duty. So effectively what this is, a tax on the transfer of the property title from one person to another, the buyer and the seller. This is actually paid to the Queensland government, so the builder or the seller or anybody like that doesn't get anything out of it. It's the good old Queensland government that is pocketing the money there, and that is normally paid by the buyer of that transaction. For a more detailed and specific overview, because it is quite a complex subject, I'd refer you to perhaps the government's website. There's lots of other websites, but it'd be a good place to start, is the government website. Let's have a look at a few basics though to start off with. Firstly, there's no stamp duty payable on the construction of a new home. There is stamp duty payable on the land component of that new home. So if we just go over that quickly again, you're going to buy you're going to buy land and of course build on that. You will only pay stamp duty on the land. You will pay nothing on the cost of the construction. If, however, you go and purchase an existing home, and I'm standing in front of an existing home now, so if that was my home and I was to sell it to you, you as the buyer would be paying stamp duty on the entire purchase, the land component and the house component. So that's one of the major differences between building a new home and buying an existing. That actually, I'm sure you can work it out for yourself, that actually is a big saving on stamp duty for newly constructed homes. Now, just to make it a little bit more complex, first home buyers and investors, you will have a different rate of stamp duty. First home buyers will have anything from nothing to a concessional amount. Investors will have to pay a slightly higher rate. And that's a very basic overview of that. As I said before, this can be a complex area. I'm not trying to give you financial advice, but just to make you aware of those few differences that do add up to quite a few dollars. So depending on your own situation, you may actually even want to seek financial advice from your financial advisor. Look, I hope this has been of some assistance. Thanks for your time today.